you guys are, you know, starting to get in. Are most of you in junior high? I don't know. But are you most of you in junior high? Okay, cool. So you probably have some like really like big goals, like, yeah, I want to try that, I want to try that. I hope you guys keep that, because high school is an awesome place to try stuff. No, you know, it's no big deal if you try it and you end up going, this is just not my thing. But that doesn't mean you don't have to try something else because, let's say, basketball is not your thing. There's other things going on during basketball season. You can be like, I'm not going to do that. I'll go and support the team, but maybe I'll go do this instead. So don't lose that trying to, like, you know, stay busy and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to kind of break down, I guess, a little bit about me. And I graduated from EDCO in 2009. I went to Wartburg first for about a year and a half, and then I transferred over to UNI. So I graduated there with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in graphic design, and I did that in 2013. So I'm engaged to Mug Stryker, Maddie, you know him. And then I also have a cat. Her name is Oatmeal. She's our new addition to our family. So right now I do work as a graphic designer at Rivals Inc. That's in Strawberry Point. So basically what I get to do is almost exactly what I went to school for, which is really exciting. I got to do shirt design, like the Razor Volleyball one. I did that one when you were wearing. And some other ones that the schools and businesses and all, they come up and say, I really want these shirts, and we put something together for them. Sometimes we do promotional materials like business cards and posters and stuff like that. But we also do a little bit of web stuff, so that's kind of nice. Not a ton, but that's also a different, you know, part of designing and things. So graphic design isn't just one avenue of, you know, I make cool posters. It's a bunch of things. So now that you know that, we can move on to kind of what I did in school and the things I was involved in, because I was kind of all over the board. And it really helped me, you know, kind of shaped me as a person. It really helped me get out of my box because I'm a pretty introverted person. And I think trying different things and being involved in different things was really helpful for me. I did volleyball. I got to do that for my entire career in high school. I also was in softball, so yay, softball, volleyball people. And then I also did track. I got to go to the state track meet a couple years in a row. Actually, if you look up in the gym, me and my couple of girls in my class and then maybe a gal older than us hold the shuttle hurdle record up there. So maybe you guys could beat it. I hope not, because that's pretty cool. I'm excited my name's up there, but it's okay if you do. But we got to go in the shuttle hurdle one year, and then the next year we got to go in the shuttle hurdle and the 4x4. So that was pretty cool. Going to that track is pretty amazing. So if you guys go out for track, and the amazing thing about track is you don't really have to like be super like, oh yeah, I have these great, you know, like for volleyball, you really have to work on your skills to be pretty good at volleyball. You have to practice a lot. But track is a little bit different, is if you really focus on those few skills, you can really grow and get better just from just trying harder. So it's a really fun, it's a fun sport. And I didn't do that well in golf. I tried it, and it was bad. I think me and my friend who went out together ate more Oreos on the golf course that we like hid in our golf bags more than we did like real like serious golfing, because we were just so new to it. And I know how to swing a club, not that I hit the ball very far or at all at times, but the good thing is that I tried it, and then even though it wasn't my thing, I did something else instead, because all I would have done was kind of, you know, go home, hang out, and it's a little bit more memorable being able to, you know, oh, I was good enough to go to the state track meet instead. If I would have never done track, you know, I would have never got to do that. So that's pretty cool. I did a little basketball. Basketball was fun. I really enjoyed I played it till my sophomore year, I think, but that was a really good time for me. But I also want to touch, like, sports aren't the only thing you can do. Like in high school, I did a lot of fine arts. Like band was my thing, even though I was a really hardcore sports person. I loved being in that. I also loved being a part of the band and marching band and things like that. I played the tenor. Who else is in band? What do you guys play? Clarinet? Flute? Okay. That's okay. Play the tenor. Saxophone's just a little cooler, but it's all right. So I played that my 4 years, and even 1 year, it was my senior year. I don't know why I got this crazy idea, but I'm like, I want to learn to play the tuba. Because how cool would that be, you know, with like the big white thing, you know? The sousaphone, actually, when it's like wrapped around you, I'm like, I'm going to be the coolest person out there because I get to play this thing. So all summer long, I was like upstairs in my house. The air conditioning wasn't that good, so I'm like sweating and I'm like trying to learn how to play the tuba just because I thought it would like up my cool factor. Like everyone's going to think I'm awesome. They probably did, and they were like, okay, cool. Like someone's playing the tuba, but they had no idea how hard I was working to learn notes. Even though I probably didn't really learn those notes, I actually just kind of made noise in the background. But that was really cool, and the fact that I even got to try, and that the band instructor was like, sure, why not, go ahead. That was really cool. There's something really awesome about being able to like put all those different instruments together and really make some really neat music, and then you can see yourself grow and get better. Like those, you know, those guys that are in it, those first few days you get that new music and you're like, everyone like does not know what they're doing, and you're like you're thinking you're playing the right thing, and you're like, oh, I'm killing this, like awesome. And then you learn you're like how many bars off, or you hit so many wrong notes. But the great thing about it was you kind of, let's stop and you start again. So I really enjoyed band. Also, I was involved in play. Does anyone do play here? Musical stuff? You should try it. I'm serious. Because I was nervous my first couple years of high school. I'm like, no, I'm not really that kind of person. I don't think I could pull that off. But there's a lot more to play than just being the person like in the front, you know, having lines and things. There's a lot of people in the back, you know, staff kind of people working in the background. There's the tech people too. But that's a really good time because basically it's just a bunch of your peers kind of like, okay, let's act like different people for an hour after school. How about it, you know? So that was really fun, and I kind of regret the first few years I didn't do it because we had some really successful plays that a lot of people really loved going to. But I didn't get to be in that, so I kind of was like, bummer, I could have, because a lot of people really liked those. So don't diss it, or you know, things like that where you're kind of like, I'm kind of more shy, I'm a little more introverted, because that's totally me. I didn't really want to like put myself out there like that. It's always worth a try, and you don't have to be the person with the most lines either. Maybe you step out and you say 2, and you're done for the night. That makes a pretty easy time, but then you got to like help your school look really cool because they put on an awesome play. I was also in large group and individual speech, so those are some really good times. It's kind of hard when you have to, I know from going from large group to individual, I liked the large group thing. I don't know about you, like individual like scared the crap out of me because it was only me. Like, okay, great, I'm gonna go and hopefully I do this right. Like, I remember back when, let's see, this was my first, like, you know, performance of this thing, and I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna nail this. I've been practicing, I got it, and I was going through all the motions, and I was hitting it, and all of a sudden, randomly, I, like, forgot, I don't know, that I was performing, and I, like, tightened my ponytail, and, like, sat. Like, that was not my character. My character was supposed to be like a mouse or something, and mice don't have ponytails. It totally ruined. I did not do well. I didn't get, you know, a 1 or whatever, because I totally broke character, but I did it, and you get to go watch a bunch of other people perform, which is pretty cool. Some people are really good at individual and large group speech, so just the fact that you get to go see these people, and most of those people, you end up seeing in college too. I saw a ton of people that were in large group and individual speech. I recognized them in college. I was like, hey, what school did you go to? Because I went here and you were there. and you were like instant, like, okay, I know that guy. You're a little bit more at ease at school, especially college, if you kind of like, oh, here I am. So, speaking of college, I can talk about a little bit what I did as far as like college involvement, like some of the things I got into, which I think is just as important as high school, because you're in a totally new place. Like, you might not know very many people, and I had transferred there, so it was pretty scary for me to even like join a group, because like I don't know anybody in this group. I really don't know what they do. I just happened to go to one of their events. It's called CAB, which was Campus Activities Board, and basically I wrote down the definition because it sounds really fancy. It's a student-run event programming organization that plans and executes a variety of successful events reflective of the diverse interests and needs of the student body. That's what I did in high school, or in college. So basically, we would take some ideas and we would try to plan really fun events for the entirety of campus. So we tried to like make everybody happy. People from all over the world, from different backgrounds, all came to you know how college is, there's a ton of different people there. So we had to try and plan events that everyone would love to go to. And this was one of the best things I ever did in college. So think about some of the things right now that you're doing in high school. You might not be able to transfer those into college. So this is kind of like your moment to shine in those things. Why not give it a try? Or, why just go, nah, that's not me. I don't do that stuff. Because maybe it is. You don't know. Maybe you're the best. You have no idea. So CAB. Basically, I was a film chair. I was a speaker's chair. Does anybody know what that means when I say the chair? Yeah? What is it? Nobody? Do you know that? Okay. Basically, it's like a leadership role in a group. So it was a student organization, but there was like a hired advisor. But then she said, okay, everyone's got to give that person, there's got to be one person in charge of making sure, like for film, that these student films get planned. Basically, we just try and get the newest film, and we'd show it on a big screen, and we'd serve free popcorn at these things on Thursday nights. It was awesome. We even did an outdoor movie once, so we had this humongous inflatable screen. I think it was Pirates of the Caribbean or something. I think that was the newest one that came out, and it was all just in the middle of campus, and everyone met up with blankets and all that stuff, and we got to watch it outside. So that was really cool, but I was part of the people in charge of making sure that it got all done. So I would have members underneath me that would go, okay, what do you need me to do, all this stuff, and then I was kind of the in-charge person. So I kind of wanted to mention that because you might think if you're just not quite the most outgoing person, or even if you are, leadership roles, they're out there and they're really important. You can really make a difference on these people's lives. I know some of the gals that were in my committee were like, no, I think I want to do this because you seem really passionate about this. You seem to have a lot of fun. So, you can really affect how other people look and react to certain groups when you care about what you're doing. So that's pretty amazing. Let's see. So let me talk about some of the events we did because we got to do some pretty cool things. We actually brought in the band Perry. We also, and then Thompson Square opened for them. You guys know what Thompson Square is. They're not as famous as the band Perry, but I actually got to meet them. And the gal there is shorter than I thought, and her hair is huge. I was really, it almost it was big. But on stage it looked great. But, so that was really cool. And what was nice is I had just joined, so I didn't really do all the planning at that point. So I just got to go and take tickets, and they're like, oh yeah, you want to meet the band? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, we all worked really hard to get this thing going. I'm like, yes, we did. I'm just brand new, so this is great. I can do this. So that one was really cool. I kind of got plopped into that. That was probably the biggest people we brought onto campus as far as our group, our student group. But, you know, if I never like put myself out there and actually like went up and signed up, which was really scary, I would have never got to do that. And that would have been kind of a bummer. Like, oh, I could have met those people. What else did we do? We also did, have you guys heard of Post Secret? Do you know what that is? It's actually, it's kind of more of an online presence, but it's this guy named Frank Warren. Basically, people write down their secrets on postcards and mail it to him. And then he'd take them and he'd like put them online, or he wrote a book. I think he did a couple books. And basically, there are all these sorts of secrets that people, you know, it's kind of like, there's an app that does that, like Whisper or something, I think. But this is like old school, mailing, snail mail, postcards. You have to write with a pencil, like, or pen on cards. And he collected them all up, and then he put them in this book or online. And I would have never even knew this guy existed if I wouldn't have gone out for a cab. And it turns out, like, some of the things that people would post, changes, like, affected other people's lives, because they were like, I had no idea someone felt that same way about that, or went through that experience that I did, because it's all, you know, anonymous. So that was a pretty amazing speaker that we got to go to. And also The Buried Life, remember them? They were like an older MTV show. Basically, they just kind of had a bucket list and just went, well, we're going to do all these things, like, what would you do before you die? And they just went out and did it. They like, I want to deliver a baby. So one guy's like, so we set it up and I got to deliver a child. And another one was, I want to help a homeless person, you know, get off the streets. And it's all kinds of stuff like that. So we had speakers like that come in. And you had to learn to, there's nothing like throwing you into that, to learn to plan things and events. Like I said, I'm getting engaged and we're getting married in June. Like, a wedding seems much easier than trying to deal with 4 famous people. Like, oh, it's just me I have to make happy. Like, awesome. Like, okay, if I can plan an event for a student body of, you know, thousands, I can do it for myself. So, who knew that that would come in handy later in life? We also did homecoming events. So, like, you think of homecoming here, you and I's homecoming events, we got to plan all those. So that was pretty cool. And then we also did, this one was one of the cooler ones, we did a campus-wide Easter egg hunt. So basically, everybody on cab was like, okay, here's a bunch of eggs, here's some like numbers or something like coordinating the prizes, go hide these on campus. So we were out at like 2 a.m., running around campus, hiding eggs for people, and then at the beginning of the day, we like announced, send out like emails and things that said, all right, go find as many eggs as you can. So these people were like shooting out there, there's people running all over trying to get all these like Easter eggs, and then when you brought them in, you got to get a prize. And these were like cool prizes. I think we had an iPad, like a little iPod thing. We had things like mini fridges and all this stuff because, you know, since we were for the school, they gave us an allotted like cash flow. So we got to do some pretty cool prizes and stuff, which was neat, but I think people just got a kick out of finding these eggs around campus. So that was really cool. We had a lot of the eggs gone pretty much within the first few hours, and we were all like, oh, yes, I thought we hid those really well. And you're like, you know, how you guys probably hid eggs before, and you're like, no one's gonna get this spot. Like, I got it. Yeah, no, they're pretty good when they won a prize. College students are pretty good at digging anywhere. So, let's see. Let's see. I can talk a little bit about my community involvement. I volunteered in an animal shelter, which was cool. And at the rodeo, I take tickets, and I work at the ice cream stand. I work with Maddie sometimes. Come get some ice cream. Or, you know, it's pretty cool when you can go to the rodeo and, you know, be like, I helped do that, because there's thousands of people that go there every year. So that's pretty cool that you can say, oh yeah, I helped set all that up, or I worked at those certain booths, because people from all over come to that, and you're like, oh, I met them.
Macy, you've only got a couple minutes left.
Oh, okay.
So if they have any questions,
yeah,
we should probably
questions?
wrap things
Went
up.
faster than I thought. You guys have a question for me about like being involved in like concerns? Like, are you worried about like being into many things? Nobody? They're all like, yeah, I can do it all. I can do everything. No?
Was it schoolwork harder than you expected when you got to college?
Yes and no. Studying's definitely a little different. Like, I really actually had to be like, holy crap, I need to study. Like, I need to go over these things. But, you know, once you kind of get your study vibe going, how you learn best, it's pretty good. And every degree is different. Like, my degree was a little bit different. I did more like projects and things, so I got to be a little bit more creative every day, which was really cool. But other degrees are different. So like a lot of reading, like a lot. You have to be ready for that. And other ones are a little bit different. So, but other than that, I liked my college stuff. Do you have a question? Or you just told me?
Yeah. How did you like manage your homework and like everything you were involved in high school? Like, what did you do to help you like keep up with your schoolwork?
Right. That's a good question. A lot of times it was basically me like allotting a time for schoolwork. Like, okay, I need to get this done. If I work on it for an hour, see how far I get, and then I push myself in that point. And then, you know, most of the time, if you kind of set that time aside and you know that's when you do that, just like practice. Like, you go, that's when after school, that's when I practice. You know, after practice, that's when I do this much homework. Or, you know, there's a lot of times throughout the day that, you know, advisory, and sometimes those things you can squeeze things in there. So that's kind of what I had to do, because otherwise I would have gone crazy if I just went, oh, I guess I'm going to randomly try and like get this done. I kind of had to set aside time for myself to do those things so I could be involved and try different stuff, because, you know, schoolwork is very important, but, you know, putting yourself out there and giving yourself avenues and things like that, that's important too, to grow yourself as a person. But yeah, anything else? No? I know, I've talked a long time. I also met some of my best friends in college because I was in that group. And one of the nice things, you know, in high school, it's like, oh, I gotta go to school, like, oh, I'm gonna go to class. But then you have those days you're like, oh, I have an art club meeting after class. I'm so excited. Like, I get to go do this. Or, oh yeah, I get to go play some sports today, like go to practice and like just stop thinking about everything else. Or have, you know, you have those practices when it was just like, oh, that was a good practice, we all did really well. And you just kind of feel good afterwards. And you never remember those nights when you just kind of go home and bum around. You know, I'll watch some TV, I'll, you know, eat supper. But it's those nights when you are like, okay, I went to this meeting for FFA and we like planned all this awesome stuff for school. Or I got to be involved in a state playoff game, like, you know, that kind of stuff. Or, you know, you figure out that you got it into all-state speech. Like, you don't want to, like, let those opportunities go, because, you know, you could do it. They want you to do it, I guess. They want you to succeed. But, yeah. Are we out of time? Do you guys have one more question? You good? Did you get enough? You gonna go be involved in everything now? Good. Good. I expect it. Now that I know your names and I know your faces, I'll watch. And I'll be prepared to see if you guys go do stuff, because it makes high school more fun when you get to have more time to spend with your friends and things. So that's pretty much it. That's my spiel. How much time have we got?
Thanks, Macey. We're about out of time. So. Thank you.